You never really remember the beginning of a dream, do you? You always wind up right in the middle of what's going on. They feel real while we're in them, right? It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange.
Now tell me why!
Because you're together!
I'm Cobb, a fugitive dream thief. Don't be fooled by this suit. What's really valuable isn't my tie clip, but the ability to slip into your mind. We can enter other people's dreams and steal their deepest secrets. Sounds cool, right? But this has dragged my life into endless trouble. Do you know why I'm a fugitive? Because I've been accused of murdering my wife, Mal. The truth isn't what you think, but no one wants to listen to me. Now my only goal is to go home, to be with my children, even though it seems like that's impossible. This job is different, and the risks are higher. Our target is Saito, an incredibly wealthy and powerful man. But damn it.
Turn around.
The gun down.
A small mistake from my partner caused our mission to fail. Now, the company that hired me to steal the information, as well as the police, are after me. During my escape, the very man we were targeting, Saito, saw potential in our ability. He wanted to use our skills for something else. He wanted us to use our dream-stealing technology to make his competitor, Fisher, abandon the inheritance of his father's business empire. What we needed to do wasn't to steal information, but to implant an idea, to change a person's core decision. To make this plan succeed, we needed to dive deep into Fisher's subconscious and plant the idea, to abandon his inheritance of the company. Sounds like a sci-fi story? Too bad. This is the reality we're facing. To achieve this goal, we have to design a complex dream, layer by layer. To keep the dream stable and extend its time, we need a powerful sedative. The biggest risk of this plan is, if we die in the dream, or if we experience extreme shock in the dream, we might be trapped in the dream forever, never able to wake up. I know, it sounds like a suicidal mission, but this is the only chance we have to escape the situation. Saito promised that if we complete the mission, he will help me escape the pursuit and give me a chance to go home. For me, this means life or death. I need to prepare everything. First, I went to find the professor, the one who led me into this line of work and invented dream-stealing technology. Through him, I got Ariadne, his most prized student, smart and insightful. I took Ariadne into the dream and taught her how to act in the dream. The world in the dream is not something you can control easily. Your mind works several times faster than in reality. 5 minutes in the real world equals an hour in the dream. And don't even mention multiple layers of dreams. The deeper you go, the slower time becomes, and it can even get more uncontrollable. I told Ariadne that everything in the dream is unlimited. We can do anything that's impossible in reality. Reverse gravity, walk on walls, even fly. But remember, if we do anything out of the ordinary in the dream's defenders will appear. They will fight back like an immune system, protecting the dreamer's subconscious from being violated. So we have to be careful. Every dream thief has their own totem. I have a small spinning top. Normally it stops, meaning I'm back in reality. If it keeps spinning, it means I'm still in the dream. To implant the idea deep inside Fisher's mind, we designed a complex 3-layer dream. For this, the chemist concocted a powerful sedative to prevent the instability caused by multiple dream layers and to extend the dream's duration. The cost is, even if we die in the dream, it's hard to wake up. If we die, we could be lost in the border of the subconscious for decades, or even forever. The only way to wake up and return to a higher layer is to make them fall from a great height in the dream. But Fisher is someone who's had anti-dream theft training, and his subconscious presents a huge threat to us. We entered Fisher's dream through a storm of bullets. At that moment, I realized that every move we made was under constant attack. Fisher's subconscious had a strong self-defense mechanism, constantly creating defenders, trying to expel us. He was a tough opponent, but we had to capture him and force him to believe that his uncle was the real criminal behind the plot. I also have my own secret. In every layer of the dream, I am haunted by my ex-wife, Mal. She's alive in the dream. She never truly died. Every night I meet her in the dream living a false life. She thinks we're still together, but I know that when she committed suicide in the dream, that was her true death, and I cannot forgive myself. This became my greatest hidden pain. Every time I fall into a dream, I meet Mal, continuing that false marriage. Until one day, Ariadne finally discovered my secret. She began to question whether I had lost myself in the dream. She even doubted whether I could complete the mission. But where she couldn't see, I had to secretly face this pain. The chemist, as the dreamer of the first layer, stayed behind to fight the defenders in the first layer, while the rest of us entered the dream within a dream, moving to the second layer. The dreamer of the second layer was Arthur. I impersonated Fisher's subconscious and told him that he was in a dream, claiming that I was helping him, which made Fisher suspect that his uncle was the one trying to steal the secrets. We caught the fake uncle in Fisher's subconscious, and everything was progressing smoothly. Then, the forger Eames became the dreamer of the third layer. Arthur stayed to fight the defenders while the rest of us entered the third layer of the dream, which was a massive fortress covered in snow and heavily guarded. Our goal was to find Fisher's deepest secret, the final will his father left behind. We engaged in fierce gunfights with the defenders, and the entire world turned into a battlefield. At the most critical moment, Fisher was shot by my wife, entering the edge of the subconscious. We had to act immediately to save him. So, Ariadne and I entered the next layer of the dream. A world entirely designed by me, a place completely tied to my past. In this dream, I had to finally face my past sins, Mal's death. After she disappeared in that dream, I had never truly let go of her. I knew that I couldn't escape the pain of the past. That was many years ago. My ex-wife and I once lived 50 years in the dream. In the dream, we had the perfect life, the ideal family, and peaceful years. But a dream is a dream, and reality can never be avoided. We tried to rebuild everything we had lost in the dream world, but we unknowingly lost ourselves. Mal always believed that the dream was her real world. She believed that if she died, she would return to real life. She thought all this pain and unease was fake, and that death was the only way to reach reality. I knew she couldn't accept reality, but her belief was so firm that it had become pathological. I had to stop her. I implanted an idea in her, a thought from the deepest part of my heart. If she died, the dream world would disappear, and she would wake up and return to real life. She would leave this false dream and come back to me and the kids. My reason for doing this was simple. I didn't want to lose her. I wanted to give her hope, even if it was built on a lie, even if it was a selfish hope. In the end, we both woke up in the dream and returned to reality. But even though she was physically in reality, she still wanted to return to the dream we had before. She began to lose the ability to distinguish everything. One day she climbed to the top of that building, standing in the cold wind, as if everything had ended. I stood below, watching her. There was no fear in her eyes, only calmness, as if she was waiting for some voice to call her. It seemed as though she believed that if she jumped, everything would start over. "Mal, don't!" I shouted, but she had already closed her eyes and jumped. Her body fell instantly, disappearing from my sight. When her body hit the ground, the world went quiet. I stood still, feeling a hollow emptiness. She was no longer the Mal I loved. She was a character in my dream, a soul that couldn't be saved. Meanwhile, Ariadne was trying to guide Fisher out of his inner self, to help him regain his confidence. He eventually found the will, found his father's trust in him, and decided to abandon his inheritance, to walk his own path. Although it was all part of the plan we designed, this was only to break up his father's business empire. And I finally realized that this dream was no longer something I could control. I no longer ran away, nor did I wish to stay in that dream forever. Mal's death was undeniable. I had to face it. Ariadne saved Fisher, and we successfully completed the mission, but I ended up trapped in the border of the dream because I didn't wake up in time. Everything started to blur until I saw that familiar room, that world of dreams. I began to realize that maybe I could never wake up. Just when I had forgotten my purpose, I met Saito at the edge of the subconscious. He was now gray-haired, and even Eames was surprised at how young I looked. We struggled to figure out why we were here, but thankfully the spinning top reminded me that this was not reality. Finally, I woke up, or maybe I fell into another dream. Either way, I'm back with my kids. My spinning top is still spinning. Will it stop, or will it keep spinning? I'm not sure. Maybe it's a dream, but I've accepted it. You know why I never watch to see if it stops? Because living people always need to hold on to something to move forward, no matter how many layers of reality there are.